Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to episode 5 of the Occasional Bugle podcast. I'm Andrew.
And I'm Jonathan.
So, it's still quarantine. So,
Quarantine.
and everything is still delayed. So, there's not really much news for us to talk about.
Literally everything is just delayed.
Everything's delayed.
Whatever
Taika
you were
Waititi-
excited for, delayed.
Whatever you're excited for, don't be excited.
All hope is lost.
Yeah, Taika Waititi did a Thor live stream the other day where it was like a live commentary.
Really?
Yeah, that
Did not see that.
kind of cool. I'm a fan of him. But
who isn't?
So, anyway, for the sake of, I guess, just having a not boring show, we're just going to get right into the topic for today, and this is part 1 of a 2-parter. So, basically, we're going to be talking about the history of the DC Films universe, whatever the hell they want to call themselves, the DCEU.
If it even exists anymore.
Which probably doesn't. So, we are going to take a look at everything, we're going to take a look at the entire history of the DCEU and figure out where the hell they fucked up.
I'm so excited.
So, well, we could begin with Man of Steel. I'd like to go back a little further to 2007.
Oh.
So, 2007 would have been the year that George Miller's Justice League Immortal was released, which was a Justice League movie DC and Warner Brothers were planning at the time as a means of spinning off their own cinematic universe, so before Marvel, because Iron Man wouldn't come out until 2008.
Yes. Oh wait.
So this was DC's kind of idea of getting a head start. Unfortunately, it was just fucked from the beginning. The writer's strike was taking place at the time in Hollywood, so they just couldn't get the script where they needed it. They just couldn't get the writers on board to do anything. Scheduling conflicts, stuff like that. Everyone was in or out of the movie, and the movie was essentially delayed out of existence. Another note was there were no plans for this movie to ever cross over with Nolan's Batman or Brandon Routh's Superman. Both had only had one movie at this time. The Dark Knight trilogy had only just started 2 years earlier, and The Dark Knight would be coming out the next year.
That was 2005?
Begins was 2005, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, I remember there was an interview with Christian Bale where he was like, yeah, I hope this movie doesn't, mess up what me and Nolan are doing. Because it doesn't work having that Batman be a part of a greater universe. That's Batman's universe.
Right.
So, and the Brandon Routh Superman, the movie underperformed, and critically, nobody cared. So they were like, okay, we'll just start fresh. Very young cast. They wanted them to, grow into their roles as the movies progressed.
Smart.
And which, interesting. A lot of good, some good casting choices, like Armie Hammer was Batman. Which
would have been amazing.
It was before. I think he was too young at the time. But anyway, I think there was a lot of interesting stuff, like Maxwell Lord and the Omax were the villains, and it was based on the Tower of Babel comic. So instead of Ra's al Ghul getting Batman's like contingency plans, it's Maxwell Lord.
That would
And
have been great.
I believe Talia al Ghul was in it too. So a lot of stuff going on, and it was directed by George Miller, who directed the Mad Max movies, which I think really would have been. This would have been really cool if it had ever actually panned out.
I think it. I think it would have been cool for comic book fans. I don't think it would have gone well in the theater. I mean, you'd have to have the right people. I mean, considering he did Mad Max and Mad Max was great. Apparently, I've never seen it.
Very, very good. But
Oh.
anyway, let's move on. So, 2011, DC takes another step at trying to start a shared universe with Green Lantern, both
Okay.
a critical and financial disaster.
Unpopular opinion. I don't hate it.
I do.
I love Ryan Reynolds. I love Green Lantern.
Taika Waititi's in that movie.
Yes.
Very strange.
I remember I saw it recently, or not the whole thing, but flipping, and I was like, "That's Taika."
Yeah, there's not really like it's been picked to death. I don't want to kick Green Lantern even more. Ryan Reynolds does it every day.
He did it in Deadpool. That was funny.
He does it regularly.
Yeah.
So I
And
mean,
DC's at a point where they like don't take offense anymore, and they joke around with them.
DC is scared to make another Green Lantern movie because of this.
Well, they're making a TV show.
Yeah, which I think is a good step, doing it on HBO.
Well, I think if it's John Diggle, I think that's stupid.
I don't think it's going to be John Diggle.
I think, I don't. Yeah, I don't think they'll do that because then it has to connect to the Arrowverse.
I think it'll be Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan.
Well, they confirmed everything is connected now, so I can see him making a cameo because they basically confirmed he was chosen as a Green Lantern at the end of the Arrow.
I mean, yeah.
But
honestly, like,
I think a little like him popping up would be cool, but I don't think he should be the main antagonist. Like you said, like it probably won't happen, but that's just my opinion.
I think it'll be Hal Jordan training Jon Stewart.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I think they'll try to keep it as simple as possible.
Who would you want to play?
Hal Jordan. I'd want someone a little older. I think Clooney would be really cool.
That'd be very interesting.
Yeah, get him back into a comic book movie.
I feel like he won't touch it because he's afraid he's gonna ruin it.
Yeah.
Because that's how he is. He's like I feel bad that I did that to Batman for so many people.
Which he's not the problem with those movies, and I don't even hate those movies. I think they're kind of fun.
I've never really seen them.
The Schumacher Batmans. They're ridiculous, but they're kind of fun. They're of the time. They're toy commercials.
I was gonna say they sound very cartoony.
Very, very cartoony. Like more cartoony than the animated series.
Interesting.
But I think they have their place.
Yeah.
Like at this point, there's really no correct version of Batman. It's just kind of whatever the hell. So.
True. People think Batman doesn't kill. Batman used to use guns, so yeah.
But he also doesn't kill. Which we'll get to.
Andrew.
But
Uh-oh.
So 2011, they fucked it again.
For those that are tuning in,
nobody liked
Andrew's
Green
frozen
Lantern,
on my screen. I don't know what happened. I can't hear him.
and they had to start again.
All right, I can hear you again.
What did you?
You froze.
Oh no. Okay. Well, this is hard to edit, so this will probably stay in.
I put it in. I was like, guys, I can't hear him. I was like, I don't know what's going on. He's frozen on my screen.
It's just gonna be me talking over you then.
Yeah.
Anyway. Okay. Any other thoughts on Green Lantern? I mean, that's not how you start a cinematic universe.
True.
with that movie.
Tangent. Who do you
It's
think should
so
play Jon Stewart?
bloated and unfunny. Like,
Oh, he froze again.
I see
I
what they were
really wanted to
trying
know
to
his
do.
answer.
They were trying to make it like Iron Man. It
Andrew,
was
come back.
just a mess.
We gotta record a podcast.
The villain was a
Andrew, come
cloud.
back.
God damn it.
Oh.
We good?
You froze again.
Are we okay now though?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
So who'd you pick?
What happened?
Who did you pick for Jon Stewart?
Jon Stewart. Oh shit, you're back there?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm way past that. Jon Stewart. I would say Idris Elba's too old.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if it's the reverse situation, I want Idris as the older Jon Stewart. Like if he was training Hal Jordan.
Or if he was training Guy Gardner.
Ooh. That'd be good.
Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah.
Safe bet.
That'd be really cool.
He's
I wouldn't
quite
mind
good.
him for like an Earth 2 Superman. Also.
Yeah.
Like just
Or
like
even like John Boyega would be kind of cool.
you know what's funny? I was thinking him too. I just don't like him.
I like him. I like that he just openly badmouths Star Wars now.
Yeah, he's just kind of arrogant in my opinion.
No, I think it's well deserved, all the criticism he's throwing at Star Wars.
I don't disagree with that. I don't like his attitude sometimes. But
Oh.
he also was pretty good in Pacific Rim too, so.
Yeah. Haven't seen it.
It's not terrible, but I didn't enjoy it as much as the first one. But it's also because I watched it alone instead of
Yeah.
seeing it with my friends.
I haven't seen either.
First one's fun.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
They also got rid of like the main character, and then replaced him with John Boyega.
Go. So okay. Let's. Any other thoughts on Green Lantern?
No. One person who I can kind of see is like an older Hal Jordan. It'd be who's the guy from Kingsman, the older dude.
Colin Firth.
Yeah,
Interesting.
but he's like older in like a different way.
He's a little too gentlemanly.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think Hal Jordan kind of needs to be an asshole.
Rob Lowe.
Yo. Wouldn't be opposed.
Could you imagine?
That would be excellent.
Parks and Recs fan would just see their I haven't seen it, but I know who's in it.
Yeah.
Just see him. And be like, whoa.
Alrighty. We ready to move on?
Yes, sir.
Alrighty. So, in 2013, DC released Man of Steel.
What a time.
I still don't know how I feel about this movie.
Honestly, I'm in a similar boat. There was one time I caught it on TV. And from that point, throughout the rest of the movie, I thought it was amazing. And like I had watched it prior, like the full thing, and I was like, this movie sucks. Like I can't sit through this. Like this is just boring, and this is just about Lois Lane. Like no offense to Lois Lane, but I didn't need that hour-long build-up.
Yeah, I mean, I think the first 2/3 of the movie are pretty good. And I think it just falls apart in the third act.
See, I feel the opposite. I think the first... I have to watch the full movie again. But I didn't like the first third of the movie. And then the last 2/3 I thought were great.
Yeah, I like that entire last action sequence just doesn't really sit right with me.
Why?
Because it's just Superman knocking into buildings for an hour.
That's true. It was kind of long.
It's just excessive destruction.
Yeah,
just for
because
the sake of it.
I think they were building for Batman v Superman at that point. They're like, let's make him destroy things.
But see, they weren't, and I'll get to that.
Got you. Did you see
So
actually the thing that they confirmed that the general is the plan
he's
was?
Martian Manhunter.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm so sick of Zack Snyder's bullshit, and which we'll get to Zack.
Hashtag release the Snyder cut.
No, don't burn it. It doesn't exist anyway.
Yeah, so many people want it, and then it's like I look at it this way. I'm like, yes, it would be interesting to see, but it probably
wouldn't be
sucked
better.
too. Yeah.
It would be bad for different reasons. But anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves. We'll get to Justice League. So, Man of Steel. It was. It was the highest grossing Superman movie of all time.
Was it really?
It did. Yes, it did very well. Critically, very mixed, as we've just established. But yeah, I don't know. And the thing that this is where the problems for the DCEU really start, because this wasn't supposed to be the start of a cinematic universe.
It wasn't?
Man of Steel was supposed to be like Superman's Batman Begins.
Okay.
You have like this gritty, like director-driven take on a superhero, and it was that. And it ended up making money, just like The Dark Knight made money. But then the wheels kind of started turning at Warner Brothers, and they were like, what if we go from here?
Stupid.
And the problem with it being a very director-driven movie was that director was Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
Man of Steel is not Superman. Man of Steel is Zack Snyder's take on Superman.
Agreed.
So when you choose the launchpad for a cinematic universe as one guy's take on this character, you kind of pigeonhole yourself into this one aesthetic that's like very far removed from what DC should have been going for in terms of starting a cinematic universe.
Right. Because now you're stuck in his world.
And if you are gonna change the character, like Iron Man isn't really like how he is in the comics.
True.
But
he's an alcoholic.
exactly.
Yeah.
But it works. Because like that movie is fun and enjoyable, and that Iron Man bounces well off of other characters, so you can see him working as part of a larger universe.
Yeah.
But, like, Man of Steel is so just sad and monochrome. Like, it's not what you want the start of this exciting universe of superheroes to be. This guy battering into buildings for a half an hour. And then the superhero snaps the villain's neck at the end.
And he cries about it.
Yeah, then he sits there and has a cry for a few minutes. Like, it's so... Tonally, it's just so wrong.
Especially for that character.
Exactly. That character... I've said this before. Like, the Captain America movies are the best Superman movies.
Yeah.
Because it's just about a guy who does good things because he's a good person.
Yeah, instead of just doing them to be like, hey, I'm a superhero.
Like...
Or...
And, like, the whole... I hate all of the Jonathan Kent stuff.
Oh, that was so stupid.
He's like, what, was I supposed to not save those kids? Yeah, maybe. Like, that's not Superman. That's not what Jonathan Kent is supposed to be telling Superman.
Right, exactly. And then, like, the whole, when the tornado's coming and he's like, don't save me. Like, you stupid idiot.
Like, it's just...
Like,
It's
don't you realize the
bad.
effect that that's gonna have on your on your like adopted son?
And that's really where the movie, like my problems lie with the movie. It's just the overall message.
Mm. You know when he could have died? When they came to the farm.
He could have died like he does in every other version, where he has a heart attack, and the whole point of that
Uh,
is Superman can't save him, regardless of how powerful he is. He can't stop him from having a heart attack.
I never knew he had a heart attack.
Yeah,
Everything I've
that
seen, he's alive.
no, like the whole like when Jonathan Kent dies, the whole point of it is like Superman can't save him. Like he can try to save everyone else, but he can't save Jonathan Kent, and Jonathan Kent wants him to know that he can save other people.
And thus, Superman is born.
Yeah, and that movie is just so like angry about being a superhero. It just doesn't make sense to me.
I agree with you.
But anyway, um,
Common consensus, that movie is garbage.
it's fine. It looks great.
It did look really good.
That's one thing I'll say about Zack Snyder. His movies generally look really good.
I would say he's a
He,
good director, but doesn't know how to tell a story.
I think he's a good visual director.
That's what I
I
mean.
think he's bad in every other facet.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, here's where things get good.
Batman v Superman.
1 month after the release of Man of Steel, at San Diego Comic-Con 2013, Batman vs. Superman was announced. And
So stupid for them to announce it so early.
yeah,
Because it was a rumor for a huge amount of time, and then they were just like,
but here's the thing,
it's happening.
it wasn't, because the world shat itself.
What
Like,
do you mean?
have you seen that announcement video?
No.
Like, Zack Snyder's on stage talking about Man of Steel, and then he brings out the guy who plays the general to read the monologue from The Dark Knight Returns. And then,
It's an odd
like, the light...
choice.
Well, he has a good voice.
Oh, okay.
That's why. The lights go out, and then they flash the Superman logo in the Batman logo on screen.
Oh, wow.
And it was incredible. Like, the audience reaction. Like, it was insane.
That would be really, yeah, I can imagine.
Because, like, you don't... would you expect them to do Batman again so soon after The Dark Knight Rises?
I forgot that just ended.
1 year earlier.
Completely forgot about that.
2012, The Dark Knight Rises came out. So, this movie was originally supposed to come out in 2015, I believe.
And then it was supposed to go up against Avengers 2, and they were like,
Yeah.
no, let's push
And
it
then
back a year.
They did complete script rewrites. No. What happened was they pushed it back to 2016, but they pushed it back to the same day as Civil War.
Right, and then they pushed it up.
And then they played a game of chicken for a little bit, and then DC moved to March.
Yeah, like, we don't want to do that because they're more successful than us.
Which was a good move because nothing really comes out in March, so you have a pretty clear hold on the box office.
Yeah, and considering the quality of both movies, it was a smart decision.
Can you imagine if Civil War moved?
Yeah, it would have destroyed Batman v Superman when it came out.
Your big summer blockbuster is Batman versus Superman. Anyway.
It still would have been Civil War, because it would have just done so much better.
I don't think it's hyperbolic to say that Batman v Superman was one of the most hyped movies of all time.
Yeah, and that's... I'll get there when we get to Justice League.
And it's just such utter dog shit.
Yeah, they advertise way too much. And then they couldn't deliver, and it's like,
Here's the thing, though.
don't.
The advertising, I was I was on board for everything I saw about this movie up until I saw this movie. And you know what? I'll admit, when I first saw this movie, I really liked it.
Yeah, me
Because I
too.
was just so high on the hype. I was so excited for this movie. More excited than I've ever been for a movie.
I agreed that a lot of it was stupid when it came out, but I was like, it was. I still enjoyed it. I had a good time. It was a good experience for me.
Because I just saw things. Like, there was so much stuff in this movie that I was like, oh, that's interesting. But it wasn't.
Yeah, I watched a YouTube video after it came out, and the guy that was talking, he was just like, they tried to do like three different stories in this movie. They tried to do Death of Superman, Dark
The
Knight
Dark Knight Returns.
Returns. They tried to like have a mini like Batman movie, have a mini like Wonder Woman movie almost because they're introducing her, and then and then it's a Man of Steel sequel, and he's just like, this is too much to do in one movie when half the characters aren't established.
Yeah. Like, this movie, okay. This movie is. It has a poor, nonsense story. It tries to do everything with nothing. The characters are terrible. One of the worst characterizations of Batman I've ever seen. Honest to God.
I will always defend that I like Ben Affleck's Batman and that he didn't get a fair shake. I think he did a great job. I think it was the writing.
I see the problem isn't the performance. The performance was fine, but I can't I can't weigh a performance heavier than awful characterization.
I still think he was better than Bale.
No, no shot.
I think Bale's a terrible Batman.
I think Bale is.
I'm also going off performance because
I think as of right now, Bale is the best live action Batman.
see, I don't know. I felt his performance was like he was like a lost child the entire time. Especially when Two Face died, I was like, that was stupid. Like his lines are dumb.
But what is Batman?
He's Batman.
Batman is a lost child.
That's true. I hate that.
That's
I hate when I use that and then people are like, he is though. I'm like, but
he is like. There's
it just like for him to be at that point in his career as Batman, it shouldn't have been like that. Like he like had an epiphany almost, and I was just like, dude, what are you doing? Like you're smarter than this. This is like you could like I don't know. I just felt his reaction to what was happening about like I could be the what was it? I could be the hero that they need or whatever. That line. I just feel like it could have been executed better,
Well,
written
are
better.
you talking about the Dark Knight?
Yeah,
Like the ending?
yeah.
See, I love that because
I think
Batman,
symbolically it's great. I think just the way it was executed, it was poor.
because like they needed like an example to like help clean up the streets even better, and they decided to lie and make Harvey that example.
Well, no, that I
And Batman
agree
was like,
with.
"I'll take the fall for this."
See, I like that. I just think the execution of it was poor, just in the way it
I
was
think it was.
performed.
I think the Dark Knight is pretty faultless.
I don't know. It just like he kind of acted in a way like I think Spider-Man would react, where he's like, "Oh man, like I could do this, this, and that, like whatever," and then like having that realization. But Batman, I feel would have just been like stern and stoic, and would have been like, just I'll take the blame instead of having it like, "Oh, I could be the hero that they need," or don't whatever the line is. Don't
I
get me
don't know.
wrong, I love The Dark Knight.
I think it works.
I have to watch it again.
Anyway, yeah, the characterization of Batman and Batman versus Superman will never not bother me. He's a murderer.
Batman kills people all the time.
But no, see, he doesn't. Like,
he leaves people for dead all the time. He did it like last year to KG Beast. He left him out in the woods with broken legs in the middle of
but that
winter.
that when you think of Batman, do you think oh, Batman's a murderer, or do you think Batman literally has a rule that says I do not kill people?
I think Batman's a murderer. Okay, he's not an intentional murderer, but he leaves people to die a lot.
No, but I don't care about that. Like, Batman literally has his rule.
Oh no, I
He
know.
does not kill people.
He does not.
And the fact that this movie just went so far in the opposite direction to the point where he's using cars as wrecking balls
Yeah.
and just flying his fighter jet down and shooting people with guns, then I have a problem.
It's fair. Was it he? I don't know. He has killed before, and
Yeah, I'm not saying he hasn't, but I'm just saying,
oh no, I know.
like, that's not Batman.
The whole like not killing thing, like it was never said until the Bale movies. It was just always like we're better than that, we're better than them, so we're not gonna kill. But he was just like, no, I certainly don't kill like that. I'm just saying like that technicality wasn't introduced to those movies.
But there's literally a scene in The Dark Knight Returns. There's a panel where he's like, he breaks a gun and he's like, "This is the enemy. This is the weapon of the enemy. We do not use this."
Yeah, but that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that he like in that instance, he's just saying that we don't use this weapon. He's not
Because
saying
we
we
don't
don't kill.
kill.
Does he say that?
He doesn't. If he was for killing, why didn't he kill the mutant leader in The Dark Knight Returns?
I wasn't saying he was for killing. I just said he never explicitly said. I'm being very technical.
But see, that's the problem. Like, you can't be technical, because, like, obviously there are gonna be circumstances where he has killed people.
Yeah.
Like, obviously every version of Batman has killed people, but the point of Batman is that he has a rule that he doesn't. They just, for story contrivances, they make him kill people sometimes.
True.
And it bothers me because that's the opposite of what his character is.
True.
Anytime Batman kills in something, it takes me completely out of it. Because that's just not what he's about.
Yeah, unless it's like another Earth's Batman.
Which basically the Batman versus Superman is.
Yeah,
And it's
which
trash.
is, and that's how I like kind of looked at it for a while, because I was like, it's someone else's story. Like that's not like it's supposed to be like an quote for quote adaptation. And then after a while, I was like, maybe it wasn't the smartest idea.
And he was literally about to kill Superman.
Yeah.
Until he found out their moms had the same name.
See, I was like, you know what? Like, you do you, Batman. Like, you want to kill him, kill him. But then the reason for him to stop was stupid. Like the whole Martha line, like... Well, also, his motive for wanting to kill him was stupid, but... I don't know. It was just... The Martha line was... Like, it's such a funny meme, but it was such a stupid thing.
Just this Batman is, especially for an older Batman, he's so angsty and angry. Like,
that's what happened when Dick Grayson dies.
He's like a child for no reason.
Yeah.
And it just pisses me off.
Well, his whole reasoning was that he's like, yeah, well, Robin died, and we're like, yeah, but he never reacted like that to Jason. He's like, it wasn't Jason, it was Dick, and I was like, oh,
that's stupid.
Yeah. I do think he would react like that though if it was Dick. Or similar. I don't think he'd maybe kill. I think he'd go very, very close. Like the whole branding thing, I think he would do that.
I think he's the most intentionally murderous Batman since Keaton.
Yeah, he did kill in that movie.
Like, it's just so bad. And, like, visually, yeah, it's a good-looking Batman.
It was a great-looking Batman.
And a good-looking Bruce Wayne.
I have a little figure of him right here.
But, people like to talk about the warehouse fight scene, which, yes, it's very well choreographed.
I was going to bring that up. That's the best Batman fight scene we've ever gotten.
But see, I don't like it. Because he murders so many people in it.
I have to see it again. From my memory, he only kills 2. Maybe.
See, 2 is more than what Batman should be killing.
Oh, I agree. Oh, 3. He shot
he
the guy's.
he
Yeah, when he shot
smashes
the
a man's
tank.
he smashes a box against a man's head, and blood smatters on the wall.
See, my problem with it is that I could never see that. Like, I was like, he doesn't kill in that. Like, no. I was like, yeah, he throws, like, the grenade goes in there and the guy's in there.
Yeah,
And I was like, and he shoots the propane tank. But I was just like, he doesn't kill other than that. And people were like, there's blood splatter. I was like, where? And it was too dark. Like, I can't see it. Like,
that's
like it
another
was shot too dark.
yeah. A little tangential, but have you seen the Gotham Knight animated movie, the anime one?
The anime one, no.
Yeah, it's like an anthology thing where it's technically set in the Dark Knight universe, but it's set in between, I think, Begins and the Dark Knight.
Mm-hmm.
It's really cool, and there's one story in it where Batman he like he gets a new he upgrades his armor to like he needs to take the bullet over anyone else. Like he cannot allow, and like even if they're a criminal, he cannot allow them to be killed.
Right.
And I think that's perfect. I think that's just what Batman's about.
Yeah.
And like I just this movie. Superman's a whiny little bitch the whole time.
Yeah, I didn't really like Superman in that movie. I liked him in
His-
Justice League. I didn't like him in that movie.
Just again, poor characterization.
Like, he almost
Yeah,
killed Lex Luthor. He's like, how dare you?
The first thing you see Superman do in this movie is kill someone.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I
Like-
like less that Superman is killing people than Batman.
I see. I don't have as much of a problem, only because he's never been so sternly against it in the comics as Batman has. But like, he still shouldn't be actively killing people.
Yeah. When I saw
Like-
that, I was like, I'm gonna rationalize it. He's not dead. He just is broken. He's a broken
And, like,
person now.
That's what they tried to say. Like in Zack Snyder said in like post movie interviews, like no, he's dead. Like he didn't kill that guy. He put him through like 12 walls. That man's insides are liquid.
Yeah. Yeah.
That man's like breathing through a tube now.
No, he's dead.
Like
There's no way he's not dead.
it's so ridiculous.
And that's what I mean, like, when I was like, oh, like, it's someone else's story, blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, and then later on, I was like, yeah, no, I was just, like, rationalizing it.
Oh, it's so bad. Yeah, somehow
Doomsday was
somehow
weird.
Doomsday was bad.
Yeah.
It was just like the movie is it's angry, it's sad, it's edgy. But like the worst part is it's boring. It's so boring.
It's boring until, like, the end. Yo,
And the
people
end is
called Doomsday as, they called it so early that Zod was going to turn into Doomsday, and I was, like, very impressed with those people. I was like, good for you guys.
When I saw his body in like the earlier trailers, I was like, yeah, they're gonna make him Doomsday.
Oh, his body was in the trailers. I'm less impressed.
Yeah. But yeah,
Because
and also
what would
like
you get from that?
also Michael Shannon in an interview, he was like yeah, I was stuck in a porta potty with like flippers on my hands. And everyone's like, okay, that clearly means like some kind of like green screen motion capture gloves.
That's
and-
funny.
But then like he did another interview and he was like, nah, I was just kidding, I got you all. And it was like, you clearly weren't.
Yeah. I think it's funny that the only acting he did in that was just lying still dead. Unless he did
I
like
think
the
that-
motion capture for Doomsday.
I think no, that was a rubber body.
So it wasn't even him. That's hilarious.
It wasn't even him. Yeah.
Oh wait, him dead wasn't him?
No.
That sucks. He just did interviews. He didn't even do anything.
He must have done like the mocap
Oh yeah, give him something to do.
or like some B-roll footage from Man of Steel. Which I'll give it to this movie. The opening
The opening was good. That really set the
opening
scene.
20 minutes really cool.
Yeah.
Where it's like Bruce Wayne going through Metropolis.
Sponsored by Audi or whatever car company that was.
Just mad horse. I think it was Jeep. um, just mad horses for some reason.
Yeah.
Just anyway. Like it's just somehow they ruined every single character in this movie, except I guess Wonder Woman, but she doesn't even do anything for her to be ruined.
People were so lucky that people like they were so lucky people knew who Wonder Woman was.
Like she didn't do anything. Like she served no purpose
Yeah, they're just like she's rich.
other than to start the Justice League.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
It's
they're
like
like she's rich, she's going to help Bruce. That's it.
it's just such a waste. The Justice League is introduced through emails,
That was really funny.
through a bunch of email attachments.
If this was
And
like built up,
LexCorp designed all their logos.
that I thought was kind of yeah. What was it? If they built up, or are we getting ahead of ourselves with me saying that?
Say what you're gonna say, and I'll tell you.
If they're built, if they would have built up to it, then I think those would have been really cool nods to what's to come. But
Not in an email attachment.
I think it would have been fine. Again, like if it was built up and then he was just like, "Hey, look at like," or not in an email attachment, but if he like broke in and like found, I might be, was it an email or did he like
It
steal
was
it?
an email. It was an email.
Yeah, so if he like broke into LexCorp and then found that, I think that would have been the better way to go.
I mean, just him opening files and like looking at here's your Justice League. It's so ridiculous to me.
Yeah.
Introduce your character, like put some effort in. Introduce your characters properly. Don't give me a fucking email attachment.
Yeah, especially because the Flash like came in at one point and you couldn't even tell it was him.
Like have some, or like, if you're gonna go complete balls out and just have Doomsday in this movie, why not have other Justice League people show up? Why not have the Flash show up, or Cyborg, or I guess Cyborg. No, Cyborg wasn't fucked up from this battle. He was already messed up because they did they showed the mother box shit.
Yeah, in the video.
Like maybe have someone crash into like a convenience store and someone tries to rob it while all the shit's going down and the Flash shows up and he's like, "Hey,
Well, they were supposed to
knock
like
it
establish him saving. Oh, what's her name? Iris. There's supposed to be a scene of him saving Iris, and there's like
off."
even a point in the
You don't
trailer.
even need to do that.
No, they didn't.
I think that was Justice League
No, it was Batman v Superman.
with the scene with Iris.
I think so.
No, I'm pretty sure that's Justice League because I remember that was cut out of the movie,
Right.
so that
okay,
didn't
yeah.
it didn't even make it to Justice League.
That would have been a cool way to introduce him, though. Not introduce him, but like,
Just introduce him as a character, not as a video file.
yeah, like he just saves this woman, and then you're like, whoa, who's that? And then people like do research and like, whoa, that's the Flash. That would have been cool. Like if he saved her with super speed, that would have been nice.
Yeah.
Like what you were saying, how like, if they crash into the convenience store, like that could have been happening during the Doomsday battle. It's just a little nod.
I just hate this movie so much.
Shall we move on then?
Do you wanna move on?
No, we don't have to. If you want to keep talking about.
No, I don't really have anything else to say. I've kind of
Yeah, neither do I. I like, I don't know. Like if you go to like rewatch value for me, like I would sit down and watch that again.
I don't have the stomach for it.
See, I watch it. I think more to make fun of it.
I'll tell you what, I will watch it over the next movie,
Wonder Woman.
Suicide Squad.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Suicide Squad is not a movie.
That's how bad that was. I forgot it existed.
Suicide Squad is not a movie. Studio interference just absolutely destroyed it.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
think they were. I mean, there definitely are like silver linings in that, but
like Harley Quinn's pretty good.
yeah, Harley Quinn, Deadshot, I thought they were good.
I thought El Diablo was a pleasant surprise, like him being as good as he was in that movie.
Yeah, he was pretty cool.
I thought he was kind of cool.
And then just went random when he became like an entity. I was like, all right, what's happening?
I didn't. I see. At that point, I didn't even care. I thought it looked cool.
Oh, I agree, it looked cool, but I was
Like,
very confused as to how that
yeah, it
was
doesn't make
possible.
sense.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, this isn't a movie. This movie they had a movie. Then the Ballroom Blitz trailer, or no, the Bohemian Rhapsody trailer came out, and people were like, "Ooh, this looks fun," but it wasn't representative of what the movie actually was. So they re-edited the entire movie, and it was re-edited by a trailer company.
Doesn't sound smart.
Like, what? That's why it feels so like the music in this movie. Oh my god, the music.
Okay, I actually like stuff from the album. I love Heathens. I love Purple Lamborghini.
There's no problem with the songs. The way is they use them.
I
Like
agree.
every 20 seconds there's a new song.
Yeah, yeah. Like they tried to do Guardians of the Galaxy with the Suicide Squad by like having all the different music.
And like they play that that scene where they're all suiting up and they play that fucking Eminem song. Makes me want to blow my brains out.
See, I haven't seen this movie in so long that I don't even remember it. Like it was on TV and I was like, "You know what? I should rewatch this movie." And then it was on like it was like left on cuz like I wasn't watching TV. My mom was. And like she left it on for like 10 minutes and I was just like I can't sit through this like never again.
Just also Jared Leto is in this movie, so automatically fuck this movie.
See, I don't in regards to him, I don't think he got a fair like shake for people to be like he was the worst Joker ever. I was like he was in the movie for 15 minutes. Why don't you give him like
I think he was
more
the worst
screen
Joker
time?
ever. I think he was just absolutely lifeless.
See, I just think he deserves a little more screen time so we could actually see how bad he was. For like you can't compare in my opinion, you can't even compare him to Joaquin Phoenix and Heath Ledger because they basically got their own movies. You can't compare 15 minutes to that, in my opinion.
And yeah, like I get that, but it's everything behind like the lead up to this movie that makes me hate his Joker so much.
Yeah, he was supposedly
Like
method about it, and then
just
like you're
being
super
the
excited and like he's gonna be amazing, and then he sucked.
and like just this like hearing for months about how he's like mailing condoms to people and giving people rats and like just being impossible to work with.
Yeah,
And
and they
then
were like,
you
we
see him
never
on
saw
screen.
Jared. Yeah,
You see him on screen and he's just lifeless. Just nothing. Do something with the 15 minutes you have. Be
yeah.
interesting.
Well, he said a lot of his stuff was cut. Like, like apparently
Yeah.
he was supposed to be in like almost double the time.
It feels like he's in a different movie.
Yeah, I blame the studio on that.
But you know what I bet? I bet a lot of the stuff that was cut was just unusable because it was just him riffing,
Probably, yeah. That's why I'm not
doing
like
doing complete
entirely.
nonsense.
Yeah, and that's why I'm like not entirely like disappointed, but I feel bad for him. Like he
I
was
don't.
so into the character, and then to have like all your stuff cut, and then. But I don't know. I hated his laugh. I hate his laugh so much. It's so weird. And he's like,
I
I
just
worked so hard on this laugh. I'm like, why is it garbage?
because
Why?
he's garbage.
Yeah.
Because he's bad.
I
Oh
just
god.
I just can't with him. Like with that part of him. Like just I don't know. Like when I heard how Joaquin Phoenix also like perfected the Joker laugh, I was like, just don't be Jared Leto's laugh. Just don't be anything like that. And then his was so good.
Yeah.
I was like, this is great. Like this is way better.
And like the worst part was after the movie came out, he did an interview where he was like, everyone was talking about like all this method acting I was doing, and like it was so overblown. I was like, no, these are like your co-stars saying this. Like this isn't like TMZ reporting. Like these are people you worked with saying that you were annoying. Like you terrorized the people you worked with for months.
Yeah, I feel like he was just like, I don't want to seem like a crazy person.
Yeah, he was just doing damage control.
Yeah.
Fucking hate him. All right, let's move on. Somehow Wonder Woman was good.
Yeah, it's because they gave it to a non-bad director. Like, you can't give David Ayer... Sorry, I have a personal thing with David Ayer. If you're listening to this, please hire me, though, as a worker or employee for whatever. But I just, like, between this movie and between Bright, for those that don't know what Bright is, it's, like, the most... Well, at the time, it was the most expensive Netflix movie ever made, and they gave it to David Ayer, whose last movie was Suicide Squad. So I don't know why you would give your most expensive project to a flop, and then give him the sequel that is apparently being made. I don't know, but you can't expect a good movie from David Ayer, in my opinion.
Apparently, some of his stuff is good.
Apparently, I haven't seen
But
any of it that's apparently good, but
see, the thing is, like, he works better with, like, action, like, very gritty, like, low to the ground action. And when you make him do a big blue light shooting into the sky, then that's your problem.
well, you see, that's what Bright was, and I felt Bright was terrible.
But he didn't write Bright,
Okay, that's fair. I didn't know that,
so.
but yeah. So yeah, they had a non-bad director. They had Patty Jenkins. What was she supposed to direct for Marvel?
I think it came out she was supposed to direct Thor: The Dark World.
Yes, yes. I think it would have been better if she did it.
I think it would have been the same movie. Because she said in the interview, she was like, they had an idea of what they wanted to do, and she was like, I couldn't think of a way to make this interesting or good.
Oh, okay. So that was Marvel intervening again.
It was just, yeah, that was when Marvel was getting bad.
Yeah, yeah. They did not have a great streak for part of it. Because what was it? It was Iron Man 3, Thor 2. Then Winter Soldier was good.
Yeah, and Guardians was good.
Yeah.
And those are both very, like, direct, like, more director-driven, I guess.
Yeah.
Especially Guardians.
Yeah. Like, they seem to have, like Iron Man was amazing, and then it was, like, the next three were decent, and then Captain America was great, in my opinion. I think that movie is so underrated. His first movie?
I love that one.
Yeah, I think it's so underrated. People are like, yeah, it's, like, one of the... Like, it's always lower on the scale than it should be, in my opinion.
I think it's really good.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, Wonder Woman received very well, did very well at the box office, but DC just continued to fucking panic.
Yeah, see, okay, so I don't really have a problem with Wonder Woman. I think it was a great film, like, statistically, like, checks all the boxes, but I can't sit and rewatch it.
See, I can. Like, it's not the most rewatchable DC movie for me, which we'll get to, but I think it has a lot of rewatch value. I think it's great up until the third act, when it's just lightning and smoke and a big gray CGI villain that she has to fight.
I agree.
That's another thing.
I think he looked cool, but...
DC with their big gray CGI villains covered in smoke.
Yeah.
It's just, stop doing that.
Yeah, I agree. They shouldn't do that. Then, what was it? My favorite part of that movie is when, what's his name? Chris Pine? Yeah. I love when he does the German accent. I love it. He is so good at it. That is my favorite part of the movie. Like, I've rewound that part just to watch it again.
And like him and Steve Trevor and Wonder Woman, they have good chemistry on screen.
They do, but to say I love you so quick was just like, I don't know.
Oh, it's a movie.
I know, that's how I look at it, but I was just like, you guys just met. But
Well, they've been through a lot together.
That's true. And their ideals are they're very idealistic people. So to
Yeah.
see those values in someone else, I guess. I just talked against my own point. Anyway.
Yeah, and this is the start of when DC just went crazy and started announcing movies.
Yeah, because like, we got a good one, guys. We got a good one. Let's announce a bunch.
They're like, we're doing Batgirl, we're doing Nightwing, we're doing Birds of Prey, we're doing Gotham City Sirens, we're doing Blackhawks, we're doing Batman, we're doing Green Lantern, we're doing Harley Quinn, we're doing 8 Joker movies.
Aren't the Sirens and the Birds of Prey the same thing?
I don't think so, but I think they kind of just lumped all the ideas together.
Okay.
Which, yeah, I guess some of those, they announced Deathstroke.
That would
They
have been
announced,
that would have been a cool movie. Oh my gosh, I just remembered that Joe Manganiello's Deathstroke is never gonna exist.
yeah.
No, they should use him for the Batman. They should use him. He looked so good, and he's a good actor.
Yeah, I mean, well,
I would love for them to like. The only problem is that he like has been in the DCEU, so I don't know if they do that because it's supposed to be like its own thing.
anyway.
But
Yeah, I mean, any other thoughts on Wonder Woman? I mean, this is, like,
eh,
DC's just
it's
shitting
just
the
not
bed.
my favorite. Like if you said Batman v Superman or Wonder Woman, I would watch Batman v Superman.
Over Wonder Woman?
Yeah. Like I don't dislike Wonder Woman, but I also don't like hate Batman v Superman. I also again I watch it to kind of make fun of it. I find it entertaining in that sense.
See, it's not even, I can't even watch it for that. I just despise everything about that movie.
It's fair.
Anyway, Wonder Woman
Good movie.
was good, did good. DC continued to shit the bed.
Yeah, because then what's next?
Oh, what's next, you ask?
Justice League.
2017's abomination, Justice League.
See, I enjoyed it the first time I saw it
Me too.
because it was just like I don't know. 2017 was a good year.
I think it was just brighter.
For yeah, it
They
was a
changed the,
nice brighter year like personally. So I was just like, let's go for it. Let's see it. Let's do it.
that being said, this movie is atrocious.
Mhm. Yeah.
Just, it's studio interference again.
See that, and then I have the same problem with this movie as I do with Disney's Brave. Too much advertisement. I saw advertisements for Brave for like 7 months, I would say, before the movie came out. It made me not want to see it. Justice League, they overhyped it the same way they did Batman v Superman, and then they couldn't deliver again because, as you said, studio got too involved.
Yeah. Obviously, Zack Snyder had to step away because of, personal stuff.
Yes, for those that don't know, his daughter committed suicide.
Yeah, which we won't get into that. But I don't think his version of the movie would have been better.
No, I don't either.
It would have just been bad for different reasons.
Yeah, I agree. And so many people are like, it would have been so much better. I'm like, shut up.
It
First
wouldn't
of all,
have.
you don't know that. Second of all, have you seen the other stuff? He hasn't had a successful DCEU movie.
He has
Critic.
a bad. He has the worst track record.
Yeah, I was like, look at what he's made. Like, no, it wouldn't have been better. Okay, part of me thinks Batman would have been better because he wouldn't have been Iron Man, and by that I mean like he was snarky.
Yeah, I hated that. I hated. But
I
also, like, Ben Affleck was not okay in this time.
yeah. What was it? I thought like when I watched it the first time, I was like, oh, that was funny, and I was like, but that wasn't Batman. But I'm gonna let it slide. And like
Yeah,
rewatching it, I'm
very,
like, no,
very
no,
weird.
stupid.
Just they
But
just tried to make a Marvel movie.
yeah, well, because that was Joss Whedon.
Yeah. But that's not even. I don't think Joss Whedon had a single thing to do with this movie. I think it was just DC telling Joss Whedon to do stuff.
Fair. And they're probably like make it lighter, and then he's like, "I'll write it the same way I wrote Avengers."
Um, there's a lot of speculation over how much of this movie was reshot.
Yeah.
One of the producers Charles Roven, he says that the movie was mostly finished before Whedon took over, but other people are saying that like over a third of the movie was reshot, which I'm more inclined to believe that.
I was gonna say I believe that. The one thing I do like from this film, I love the interaction that they have like later when Bruce calls Diana out, like, where were you all these years? Like, you've been around for
Yeah,
a
see, that felt
while.
like Batman
Yeah,
just
I was
being
like,
a
that was
dick.
perfect Batman right there. Like,
Because
that was a good
Batman,
written Batman.
Batman's such an asshole.
He is, and it was like
He's just so unpleasant.
he,
Everyone hates working with him,
yeah, exactly. But it's like
but
the
they
reason he
need him.
does it, yeah, he does it because he's like, you need to do what needs to be done.
Yeah.
So if I
Um,
have to be a jerk for you to get to that point, like, we're gonna do that. Like, that's how we're gonna dance. And that was like great Batman. And that's what I'm saying. Like, Ben Affleck like executed it so well. So I think he would have done better if he was just given better stuff.
I think one of the problems is you you've shot yourself in the foot day one when you cast an older Batman at the start of your cinematic universe.
I agree.
I think that was a stupid decision, which
Yeah.
is why I was so happy when Pattinson was cast. So like young Batman, we're starting fresh.
Yeah, you can use him for a while.
Exactly.
Because honestly, how many years would Bale have given his marriages like falling apart at the same time? So how, and if he was trying to save that and like deal with that, like, that's a lot to do
Yeah.
at the same time, and you're like trying to stay in shape.
And like he was very out of shape and puffy in this movie.
Yeah, they had, yeah, because then they used the muscle suit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This movie also looks terrible.
Yeah, I liked the brighter colors. Like, I liked Superman having a royal blue suit instead of a dark one.
Yeah, and it's just like just it looks like the green screen is terrible. So much of this movie is just people like inside talking.
The mustache.
The mustache. I Jesus Christ.
I didn't notice. I honestly did not notice. And
I
now I see it. But before that, like, when someone finally put like a side by side, I was like, oh,
They spent so much money on that.
such a waste. Was it? My biggest complaint about this movie is the Flash is running. Why the hell is he speed skating?
Let's talk about the Flash. I think he's terrible. I think he's just awful in this movie.
I think he would have made a good Wally West, not a good
I
Barry
think he
Allen.
I think he was terrible in whatever the hell he was supposed to be.
I don't disagree. I just like, if you had, like, if you pointed that out to me, but you didn't tell me like which Flash it was, I would have been like, oh, it's Wally West, right? And then people saying Barry, I'd be like, no.
Because they do that often. They introduce Barry Allen, but they give him a lot of Wally.
Yeah.
Like the show did that.
I think they
And
made
then
up
the
for
show
that
introduced
eventually.
Wally.
Do you still watch the show?
No, no.
They made up for that. He's less like Wally now.
Yeah, and I mean you have to do that because like every superhero needs to be funny now.
Yeah.
But
I mean, the Flash had his like one-liners, but he was more serious, and now he is more serious. They also don't have Wally anymore. I'm also not caught up. I gotta catch up. Sorry.
yeah, I think I don't know how the hell he was trying to play this Flash, but it was wrong.
Yeah. The suit looked cool though,
So yeah, the suit's fine.
but his
Like
running, as I was on track for like 8 years. Like, I ran for 8 years. That is not how a person runs. There is no planet where that is a realistic run.
he's just like flailing his arm. It's just so ridiculous.
He looks so stupid. Like, when they showed him running, I was like so excited, and they showed that, and I was like, oh, that's disappointing.
Every joke they try to make with him in this movie just clunks. It is so impossibly unfunny.
The one I do like is when they all like disappear after talking to Gordon, and he's just like, "Oh, that was rude," and then he just leaves. I thought that was kind of funny.
The joke itself was good, but the delivery was like his line delivery was terrible.
Yeah, I have to
Like
rewatch it.
he sounds like he's in high school, like making a short film with his friends. Like he sounds bad.
I love the most serious that we see him is when he races Superman at the end. Like he just puts on his serious face,
Yeah,
and
I don't mind that scene. I think that was kind of fun
I like that. Yeah.
because that scene is the best Superman scene in the entire DCU.
Yeah. I also like when him and the Flash are like neck and neck when he's carrying the building and he's pushing the truck.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was cool.
Superman for better or worse is pretty good in this movie.
Yeah, Superman I think was the highlight of the movie.
He's a lot more in line with what he should be.
You know what I hated too? They cut so much that would have made it make sense. Like for Cyborg, they showed that he was a football player. That was in the trailer. Wasn't in the
Yeah.
movie.
Oh,
That would have
nothing from the trailers was in the movie.
yeah, exactly. And then um Aquaman was fine in my opinion.
I
It's
I'd
just
say I
the two characters that needed the most introduction got none. Because
yeah.
people might know about Aquaman as like a joke, but
And they tried so hard to be like, nah, this is cool Aquaman. He doesn't ride seahorses.
yeah, exactly. But I mean, it wasn't like I don't think it was terrible. And they
And
did
then
a
he
decent job establishing him, but no one knows who Cyborg is.
yeah.
So to give him nothing and to take cut his scenes, I felt was insane.
My favorite part of this movie is where Aquaman just chugs a bottle of Jim Beam and then throws it into the ocean.
Oh
Like,
man.
good job, Aquaman. Really keeping the seas clean.
Yeah. I keep forgetting he's like in Atlantis at one point.
Oh Jesus!
And
I wish
then
could forget.
I just realized that makes no sense to to his solo movie.
This movie is so just offensively terrible.
I think Steppenwolf looked cool.
I think
I
he looked awful.
kind of take it back now that I said it out loud.
I think he looked like Dobby the house elf wearing a bunch of oven doors.
That's really funny.
He looked terrible.
Um,
And he was terrible.
no, you know what I'm thinking of that looked cool? His pop figure looked really cool. I like that a lot, but I like the axe. I thought the axe was cool. Like the
I don't
visual
care.
of it. Like when he swung it around, it like lit up like it was
Yeah.
Tron. Like I thought that was
Yeah.
pretty cool.
I mean, I don't care. Like, I don't care about his axe.
Yeah. I
rather a
thought the
good villain than a
Green
good axe.
Lantern nod was really cool in the beginning.
Yeah, and like that whole sequence is pretty cool. Like the history.
Yeah, I like that a lot. And then, what else did I like? I liked, I actually kind of disliked his. Steppenwolf wasn't good.
No, he's terrible.
No. Like, if they had a Loki of that, like, I feel like Lex would have been a great villain for that film.
Not this universe's Lex.
I didn't hate him because they
I
said
did.
that he wasn't like Lex Luthor, like he was his son. He was Alexander. So I was like, oh, so it's not Lex. Like that was me rationalizing it.
No, but it like they say that, but that was this universe's Lex Luthor.
Yeah, no, I know.
Like they weren't planning on introducing his dad.
Yeah, no. Again, that was me rationalizing it
Yeah, it's
to accept it.
and then like I was having an okay time at this movie, and then he shows up in one of the post-credit scenes and just killed my mood.
But Joe Manganiello was Deathstroke.
See, here's the thing. I just don't really care that much.
I
He looked really cool. Like he
love it.
he was the Arkham Origins armor, which like that's probably his most iconic look at this point.
It looks so cool, and we're not gonna get him ever, and I'm so sad about it.
It just felt so goofy the whole thing, and it was like maybe we should start a league of our own. And it's like, oh, more sequel setup. Like, and like I thought you were building to Darkseid. What the fuck was the point of introducing Steppenwolf if you're not going to build to Darkseid?
Yeah, there were a lot of those scenes were cut.
Just a waste of time.
Yeah. That's why I think it would have been like interesting. Like they were kind of building up that Lex was talking to Darkseid, and it's like, well, why didn't you do that? Why didn't you have Lex escape with the help of like Steppenwolf? And then they work together.
Yeah.
and then would have been a good movie or better
Yeah.
than it was. Maybe not good, but better.
I hate that the entire Justice League is no match for Superman.
Yeah, yeah,
I hate that Superman just shows up and immediately beats Steppenwolf.
yeah, and then that's when like Aquaman and Wonder Woman started doing well too, because then Superman runs off to try to help people,
Yeah.
and then they're just like, now we got it, and it's like you needed Superman for that. You couldn't have done that before. Like you couldn't have broken his axe earlier.
And like it's just him beating up the Justice League until his girlfriend shows up and then he's okay.
Well, that's what he said. That's what the Flash said in Batman v Superman. She's the key.
Ugh, I don't care.
It was so stupid. And that's why they had to follow up with it in Justice League, because they're like, we can't just like write it off.
I think they followed up with that accidentally.
Really?
I don't even think that was like intentional to tie up that plot point. I think they're like, how should we get Superman to stop beating up his friends? I'll have Lois show up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and yeah, that could just been a coincidence.
Yeah.
Because he does say it. He's like, I had a vision, but
Yeah.
again, like you said, it could have been coincidental.
Yeah. I don't know. I just. God. I'm trying to think of any other shit I have to say about this movie. It just. I love the Justice League so much. Like I grew up watching the Justice League cartoon. Like that was my show growing up, and then to finally see them on the big screen, and I have to watch Cyborg and the Flash dig up someone's grave for 15 minutes.
Yeah, that was odd.
Like this is the Justice League movie I've been given. I. All right. I don't have anything else to say about this movie.
All right, time for Aquaman.
Aquaman came out. It was. I don't really like Aquaman that much, but it's not offensively terrible.
I liked it. I actually really
Okay.
enjoyed it.
It's fine.
What was it? I don't know how I feel about him in the orange yet.
I like it. I think it looks. I think just lean into the silliness.
I think I don't know. I don't. Okay, when his hair is wet, this is gonna sound weird, but when his hair is wet, I didn't like it. But when he was like underwater and it was like flowy, I was like, he looks so much better. So like, it's just like a wet hair thing. Like people don't always look good with their hair wet.
Sure.
Um,
Yeah, I think
um,
I think that suit looks really cool. Um,
I love that Julie Andrews was a Kraken.
yeah.
Was it one of the best parts of that film for me? Was like when I went to see it. And there she like Mara like extracts water from his face and then puts it in the thing. My friend leaned over to me. He's like, he could have just peed on it. And then 2 seconds later, he says the line.
Yeah.
The theater was like they laughed, but my friends and I were cracking up for like 3 minutes straight. Um,
Yeah, I think I don't know. I feel like a lot of the jokes in it were kind of forced.
yeah. I think they used CGI where they didn't need to. Like for Ocean Master's helmet at the very end, like you could see it's moving with him, but I'm like, you could have just made him a helmet.
Yeah,
I feel like that would have cost
probably.
a lot less. And it also didn't look good, so it's just kind of like this is kind of a waste of money. I also love his like wardrobe changes.
Yeah,
He goes from like a cool like steel like ocean look to solid gold
just purple pajamas.
and just purple. I was like, you go
Yeah,
from solid
I.
gold to purple? Why?
That's one thing I do appreciate about this movie. It leans into the comic bookiness
It
a lot more
does.
than the other movies have.
Yeah. Like don't get me wrong, I liked Aquaman's old suit. Like I liked his Batman v Superman suit. I enjoyed it. Like it was a new like fresh take that I liked.
I like the Batman v Superman one because it looks like the '90s Aquaman.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't like the Justice League one, the weird crab armor.
Isn't it the same?
No, He's got like he's like fully armored in Justice League.
That's what I meant. That's what I was talking about.
Yeah, no, I like the Batman v Superman one, where he's like shirtless.
Yeah.
I think that one looks cool.
Yeah, no, he definitely looked cool there. I did like the crab armor.
I thought it was just kind of generic.
I agree. It definitely
I think
like
the
went for what they were going for in
yeah,
the sense of it's darker.
yeah. I think the orange and green is the best one though.
Yeah, especially
I
once he
think
goes
it's
underwater and his hair is all flowy.
anyway.
I really don't have a lot of complaints about this movie.
Yeah, I mean it's just the you can tell Justice League. I think Justice League was the end of the DCEU
Yeah,
because there's no references to a wider universe in Aquaman.
yeah, but like I know like the statement that they issued was like anything that was, excuse me, anything that was part of it is still part of it, even if there's no mention. But everything else is solo. Like the Batman, Joker, like they're separate. But like Shazam, Aquaman, Wonder Woman.
But they haven't even outright said with the Batman yet.
Oh, they
They
haven't.
haven't they haven't said what they're doing.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. I just assumed that that would be its own thing.
Um, I think Shazam is the best DC movie.
Oh, I agree 100%. Not
Shazam is I consider Shazam to be like an all-time classic superhero movie.
yeah, and it got overshadowed by Infinity War.
Yeah,
That movie would
it
have
didn't.
broke the $1 billion mark if
Yeah,
Infinity War didn't come out.
it just didn't. It didn't make the money it should have. But it's just so good.
It's so good. I have to rewatch that. I have that on
Me
DVD.
too. I really need to rewatch it because I love this movie.
I love that movie.
It gets everything so right.
It came out on my birthday, saw it on my birthday. So good. Such a great experience.
It's set at Christmas. It's so good.
Yeah, I love that it came out in April, but it was set at
Yeah.
Christmas time.
I think the villain, Dr. Savannah, actually pretty solid.
I was a little underwhelmed, but I also haven't
Yeah.
seen the movie in a while, so I want to rewatch it. I also love that
I think
it made fun of like the classic like trope, like you can hear someone like miles away. But also, isn't he supposed to have super hearing? So shouldn't he have heard him?
but like it doesn't matter. Like, it was a really good joke.
It was a really good joke.
That movie is so funny.
I liked that they did the Seven Deadly Sins as like their own like mini villains, because when okay, so like I follow like the pop figures and stuff, so it's like sometimes I get spoilers from those figures. So they revealed that like all his family members get the powers too, and I was like, well, how are they gonna? How is the villain gonna beat that? Like stand a chance?
Yeah.
Like if
It's
they
such
have
a
the
good
same powers, but there's 5 of them or 6 of them, how? And then it was like the Seven Deadly Sins. I was like, okay,
But they don't all have the same powers. The powers are all split up.
oh,
So one of them has wisdom, one of them has strength, one of them has speed.
see, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was all split up amongst them, and I think Billy has all the powers.
Okay, that's more balanced. That's way more balanced than I thought. Because I was like, this is like, it's gonna be such a bad ending, and I was so worried for that film that it was gonna be bad.
Yeah.
But it was so
And
good.
I think the Seven Deadly Sins were one of the weaker parts of the movie, just because it's like big gray CGI monsters again.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely like added to the whole like, this guy is evil
Yeah.
type. I saw that like the end credit scene where the worm comes in. I was like,
Oh, I love that. The fucking worm.
I was just like this damn worm, and I was 'cause, like, I thought it was funny, but I was like, I can't believe they're doing the worm thing. I forget his
So
name.
good.
It's like something like really corny, like
It's like
Doctor
Mr.
Disaster.
Mind, Mr. Mind or something.
It might be Mr. Mind.
But it's
He's
this
not a
movie is
mister.
great.
He's a worm.
The weird part of this movie is the references to the wider universe, because there's a Batarang,
Oh my gosh! I don't know how he got that batarang.
and it's like it's the Ben Affleck Batarang.
Okay, those batarangs were solid.
Yeah, they're fine.
I can't wait to see Robert Pattinson's Batarangs. I didn't think of that till just now.
Yeah, and Superman shows up.
I love that. I read that he
So bizarre.
wanted to do it because he got a body double, but I read that he like wanted to, but it was like scheduling conflicts. Like he couldn't get there for when they needed him.
Yeah.
Which I was like,
I
that
mean,
sucks. Because I think he still genuinely wants to play Superman. I just think
yeah.
it's
And
not
you know,
going
he's
well.
perfect for it. He's really perfect for it.
Yeah, he is. He's great. I hope they stick with him. I hope he gets a sequel.
Jesus.
Um,
Ugh. Yeah.
and
Yeah,
then
Shazam, very fantastic.
very good movie. And then the
Yeah,
next one's
if that
Birds of Prey. Have you seen it?
not yet. Oh no, the next one technically was Joker, but Joker isn't set.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not
And this is
DCEU.
when they were just like, you just forget about continuity.
Yeah, they're like Joker.
We're just doing a standalone. Birds of Prey, I plan on watching very soon.
Me too.
I'm still very excited to watch it. I liked all the trailers. I really like the cast.
I have to watch a
Heard
trailer to get
nothing.
excited again.
Heard nothing but good things.
I've heard nothing but bad, so I don't know
How
how
could you
this
have
is
heard
gonna
nothing
go.
but bad?
I don't know. A lot of people like I was trying to get people to go see it with me. I actually almost saw it. Um, but then like I was asking my friends, I'm like, "Oh, have you seen it yet?" And they're like, "No." They're like, "My friends saw it and they hated it, so like I'm not gonna go see it." And I was like, "Oh, that sucks." I mean, I'm still optimistic about it, but I was just like, I haven't heard someone say that they liked it.
Yeah. We have no idea what the hell's going on with the Batman, whether or not that's a part of anything. Um,
And then
yeah.
we got Wonder Woman 2 coming out
Yeah.
sometime, hopefully
So
July.
as I think it got pushed back to like August,
That makes more sense.
but that's probably not going to happen.
Okay, knock on wood.
Knock on wood, it's out by August,
Yeah.
and we can see it in theaters.
I want my summer, man. Don't take my summer from me.
So as of right now, there is no clear direction for the DCEU outside of Wonder Woman, but that's not going to do anything.
Yeah, it's like,
That's just going to be a Wonder Woman movie, I think.
yeah, and I think everything that's like going to happen but hasn't like been given anything yet is like Shazam 2.
That was recently confirmed. Shazam 2 and Black Adam.
Yes. Oh, I
Black
forgot about
Adam's
Black
happening,
Adam. Yeah, they're definitely gonna do Shazam 2 because of Black Adam.
which I'm excited for, but also a little worried about because I love The Rock, but he kind of tends to steamroll over everything he makes.
I like Jumanji and Central Intelligence.
Yeah, like I'm talking about with like Fast and Furious. Like obviously I think those movies got better once he showed up, but like how much creative control is he going to have over Black Adam and Shazam?
Apparently a
Because
lot.
because they're filming, I think they're either filming back to back or simultaneously, and then they're going to tie in together. So,
Okay, interesting.
I'm excited to see them interact. I think I wish The Rock would just play Black Adam as a villain, but they're clearly going for like the anti-hero thing.
I don't I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, me either, because Black Adam's a villain.
Yeah.
Play a
Um
villain. Like,
I mean you can say the same thing about Loki.
I guess, but that felt more like a natural progression.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
And
But if
and
you would
also
have
he very clearly started off as a villain.
yeah.
Like he killed a lot of people and then they redeemed him.
Yeah. I mean if you would have told people though like years ago like Loki's going to be an anti-hero in the movies, people probably would have been like, don't know about that."
Yeah, but I think that's also just a testament to the writing.
True. Yeah, no, I agree with you on that one.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah. Very excited for Shazam though.
yeah. And then Aquaman 2 and then
Yeah, sure.
the best movie of the century,
Trench.
The Trench.
It's not happening.
It's happening.
It's not gonna happen. They're not gonna make a goddamn Trench movie.
I don't know if okay, I could see them putting it on hold, doing another Aquaman movie and be like, "All right, the Aquaman hype is still good. Like Trench, here we go."
I can see them putting it on hold forever.
But I want it to happen just because I think it'll be so bad. It's just gonna be a movie about explorers like finding the trench, and then they're all gonna
Yeah,
die. That's all it's
and
gonna
like
be.
and like I don't care about that.
No, I agree with you. I don't think it should be like if they have that movie coming out, that should be like a bonus movie. Like how it's like almost unwritten that comic book movies either come out in twos or by themselves during a year.
Yeah, make it a short film.
Yeah.
Release it on HBO Max or whatever.
Oh, that's actually really smart. That's what they should do.
Yeah, like don't make it. Don't waste it on a full movie, you idiots.
Yeah.
All right, so where did DC step wrong?
Everywhere. Trying to catch up with Marvel.
Zack Snyder.
Zack Snyder. As much as they say that they weren't trying to catch up, it's like, well, then
They
why
were.
did you
Of course they
do
were.
a Justice League film as your
Why was your
third
second
film?
movie Batman versus Superman?
Yeah, establish Batman first. Could you
Yeah,
imagine if we got that movie? Oh, if we got a Batman movie before that, I think it would have been
yeah,
great. And in that movie, Robin could have died, and then that would make his reaction make more sense.
but I
Like
don't want
his
to see
change.
Dick Grayson die.
Neither do I, but if it makes the Batman and Batman v Superman better, like, or
You
more
know,
understandable,
Dick Grayson dying, that is a perfect example of why I strongly dislike Zack Snyder and his storytelling.
yeah,
Because like Dick Grayson is supposed to be the opposite of Batman. Just he's Batman but fun.
true.
And he's just like a nice guy. He's funny. And you're like, okay, let's take this really good, nice thing and just kill it. Because why not? Because character motivation.
You don't want to read Injustice then. Hate to
No,
break
but
it
see,
to
I
you.
know, I know what happens there, but like that serves the story
That's true. Yeah.
because
No, I get
it's
what you're saying
Damien.
now.
It's Damien who kills him, right?
It's an accident technically. He
Yeah,
just like pushes him and then he falls and like snaps his neck. Like
yeah,
it was just like so unlucky.
yeah. But it works. It works in that because for one, that's an Elseworlds tale,
True.
and it works in driving apart Bruce and Damien,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is a big plot point in Injustice.
Yeah. You know, I see what you're saying now. There's a purpose to it.
Yeah,
Instead
but
of
like
just like, hey, we
there's
need him
no
to
purpose.
be psychotic.
We need Bruce to be mad, so kill one of his best friends.
You wouldn't like Bruce when he's angry.
I don't like him at all.
You don't like Batman at all?
I love Batman. I hate Zack Snyder's Batman. I love Batman more than I love any character in the world, which is why I hate this Batman so much.
See, that's me with Spider-Man, and that's why I love Tom Holland.
Yeah, I love Tom Holland. Tom Holland's a great Spider-Man.
I really
Um,
hope the I hope Disney doesn't get greedy again and like ends up being like, nope, bye Tom Holland. Like,
I think it's hopefully going to be smooth sailing from here.
I hope so, because do you remember the rumor we were talking about? How they were gonna like they had like 9 movies for him planned.
Yeah, it was like high school, college, and then just Spider-Man.
Yeah, and that's and I want that so badly.
Yeah, yeah. I really want to see some of my favorite Peter Parker stuff from the comics is like he's like a high school teacher. Like like that's why I love Spider-Man in the comics. He's one of the best superheroes in the world, but he's still nobody,
Yeah,
and
see,
he continues to be nobody.
he I can just him being a teacher just would not work.
No,
It wouldn't
not
work
at
at
all.
all, because like you see an explosion. Well, I guess they have policy like stuff in
He's the
place to be like, all right, there's an explosion, like everyone has to like get out of school.
he's the kind of teacher that like kids throw stuff at. Like
Yeah,
he'd be such a pushover.
it was either that or I could see him also being like the cool science teacher.
Yeah, like so like he like there's a group of kids that like come to his room after school.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or even like the more jockey kids are like, oh, you're a nerd, and then he like proves them wrong with science or something like that. Like he's just
Yeah, like
like,
he's somehow still competing with the kids at school.
yeah, that'd be great. It's like Flash's son.
Just this very insecure, like 30-year-old.
Like I'm still hip. I know what things are. I love the memes that they have, and it's like this is how Tom Holland would be if this was his actual age. And it's just him. Just I love the ones of him and Shuri
How
memeing
old
it
is he?
up.
He's like 20. He's like 22, right? Tom Holland.
Tom Holland, I think he's 23 because I think he's 2 years older than me.
Jesus. He looks so young.
He
He's
does.
he's playing like an 18-year-old at the oldest.
Yeah, I was gonna.
Because he's 15 in Homecoming.
Yeah, he's 15 in Homecoming, and then I think he's 16.
Jesus Christ.
Um,
I mean, hey,
well,
if you look the part.
he was 15 in. Okay, here's why it doesn't make sense. He was 15 in Homecoming, right? And then, Infinity War allegedly is in 2018. So that would be 2 years later. That would mean he's a senior in high school.
Right.
So then, but in like Far From Home, they allude that he's like only like a junior. So his age makes no sense in the films right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the most important thing.
Oh, I agree, but I was just like thinking about it. I was like, they can't do like another
It does make
movie of
sense,
him.
yeah.
Yeah. Like I
I
was
think the
just,
next one will be like senior year.
oh, 100%. Yeah, there's no way it isn't. Like I think it's going to be similar to how in Amazing Spider-Man he just graduates and is like done.
Yeah.
Like I like it's probably going to be like this summer in between high school and college.
All
But
right. Any other thoughts about how DC fucked it?
they just didn't take their time. They didn't establish their characters. They had one character going into before they had one character before they went into crossovers.
Yeah.
Like
The
it's
biggest problem was starting with Man of Steel. Not starting with Superman, but starting with Man of Steel.
yeah. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
Because
Based off
you
of
just you trap yourself into Zack Snyder's awful world.
yeah, and then you're stuck in it. I mean,
Exactly. Like, let's have a good Superman movie before we have a deconstruction of a good Superman movie.
yeah. Cuz even too like Marvel like they kind of make different types of films, but they're all like
They all fit together.
yeah. Like you could be like, "Oh, this is like if you didn't know like, "Oh, I've never heard of Ant-Man." And then like years from now, and then you just like sit and watch it and you're like, "Ah, this is a Marvel movie."
Yeah. The MCU, it's like a puzzle. Like, there's a lot, like, everything's different, but it all fits together.
Yeah, the only one that I would say is an outlier is Infinity War because that thing was serious.
The only one I would say is an outlier is the Incredible Hulk, because who cares?
Well, that too, yeah.
But that's probably going to become a lot more relevant in the coming years with Thunderbolts and everything.
Yeah.
Because you have the leader, you have Abomination, Ross.
Yeah. See, my thing with the Incredible Hulk, it's not terrible. They just
It is.
they just like it could be so much better if they just mixed up the sequence of the scenes. Like there were certain like I went and watched it back in like 2018 and I was just like sitting through it and I was like, okay, if they move this scene there and this scene there sequentially it would just make more sense.
I just think it's very dull.
Oh, I agree. Like if you give me a choice now, I'd be like, I don't want to watch it.
Yeah, I don't like I've seen that movie, like every part of it, but I've never watched it all the way through in one sitting.
No, I have at least like twice.
Like
The final fight
So-
is good.
yeah, but it's just two big green dudes slapping into each other.
True, but for back then,
I guess.
that was really cool.
Also, I hate the design of the Hulk in that movie.
I like that one the best.
I think the best one is probably Ragnarok.
Yeah, no, I forgot about that one. Yeah, I like Ragnarok. I liked the first one more than I liked Ruffalo as the Hulk before that. Like when he had like the curly long hair.
I really like the Avengers Hulk. The first one. I think that's one of the best uses of the Hulk in that movie.
I agree. I wish we got Hulk in Infinity War. There's nothing about that movie that I want more.
See, I think it works.
I agree with you. It definitely worked, but it would have been cool, and I wanted to see it.
Anyway, let's save the Hulk talk for another episode.
Fair.
So I guess if we don't have any other thoughts about DC, so the next episode is going to be basically us explaining what we would do differently, how we would plot out DC. Like we could just sit down and work the whole thing out.
Yeah.
Like where we would start, how we would build to a Justice League, how we would introduce the characters. Like maybe if we want to make it more interesting, we can work with what they used in the universe, but I think in the interest of starting fresh, we should just do everything ourselves.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't want to work with their garbage. I mean, it would be fun, but I'm not entirely opposed to it.
I feel like I'm just gonna get angry again, and there was enough of me being angry in this episode.
But yeah.
I think this was very therapeutic for me, this episode.
Do you feel like you have some resolved issues now? Like,
Not resolved, but I
just brought it back
Well-
to the surface?
they won't be resolved until I have a good Justice League movie.
Fair enough.
Because that is the biggest atrocity from this whole universe for me.
I'll write a letter saying my friend will not be at peace until he gets a good Justice League film. So do it.
And on that note, Jonathan, where can they find you?
They can find me at occasionalbugle on Instagram. There is no the. It's just occasional bugle. Made that mistake before.
Made a whoops.
The link to that will be in the description.
Yes. And you can find me at Big Goat on campus on Twitter. If you ever want to talk about nonsense. And I guess that's that.
Like, subscribe. We will soon be on YouTube.
Soon.
That news will come soon.
Yes. We will be sure to update. And until next time, adios.
Bye-bye.